And I start with what is not sovereign. Just by putting a data center in a country, it doesn't become sovereign.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the key element of sovereign is when you have the talent in the country operating the sovereign stack.
Right.
So I'll not get into detail, but I want to take this opportunity to highlight there is a lot of misconception on data sovereignty or sovereign. It all starts with making sure that in Indonesia, if it is the Indonesian talent who has the key on managing the whole stack, they are well trained, number one. Number two, for sure, it has to follow the governance and rule of the country. I think this is becoming very critical. Second, we have to work with China ecosystem, we have to work with US ecosystem, but I feel very pained and sad, especially with the US ecosystem. For them, Indonesia is Bali.
Right. Right.
You know, for them, Indonesia is Southeast Asia.
Right.
So you need to have that focus where the big companies also appreciate and admire that Indonesia has the right, fourth largest country in the world.
Got it.
With so much of young population. Look at BlackBerry days.
Right.
This was one of the best and the biggest market. Look at TikTok.
Yeah.
There are more TikTok account in Indonesia than bank account, number 2 market.
Right.
So countries like Indonesia cannot be seen only as a consumption market.
You know, it's a sovereign AI that you've argued could grow up to, I think, 140 billion to GDP and lift growth meaningfully in this country. Walk us through that, but also tell us a little bit more of what that means for the small business owner or the creator in the second tier city. Where does that GDP growth value land to him or her and how soon?
So I think it's a proven thing that the digital economy has a direct impact. The telco sector, and now when you talk about the bigger digital economy, has a direct impact on the GDP growth. Nobody will debate that. I think if you double click on that, if you start focusing on building a sovereign impact where you start investing on infra, you start investing on application. So we have all heard this famous 5-layer cake which Jensen started. One data, let me tell you, on this 5-layer cake, the most foundation is energy.
Right.
Correct? There is a huge shortage of a lot of supply chain on storage, network, but I very strongly believe these will be solved in next 12 to 18 months. But the foundation layer, which is energy, water, power, land, countries like Indonesia is so uniquely placed. So this is the time where we need to make sure that we focus from the foundation layer. Then when you go up, you know, when you talk about application, why do I need application which is designed for the world and it works in Indonesia also? I get it, it's a platform play. But why can't we work with the researcher, academia, on working on applications which is made in Indonesia, for Indonesia, and then the region? I think these are the changes which need to happen. And when you start playing on the full 5-layer cake, it creates a lot of value for the country and the impact on GDP.
Now, turning to the creative side, obviously Sahabat AI generates images and video, not just text, and you have named creative communities as a target. Tell us a little bit more why the visual layer is a core part of the sovereignty argument and not just a nice to have. And what does a sovereign model give an Indonesian creator that a global tool may not?
Sahabat is not just an LLM, it's a platform which will help innovator, researcher in Indonesia. So very soon you will see Sahabat will start focusing on citizen services. We have a lot of universities, researchers, media company. By the way, some of the biggest media company in Indonesia, they are putting their data. They were not comfortable putting it out.
Okay.
So there were no GPU cluster.
Right.
How do you train it? Now we have it in Indonesia.
So you can work with media companies on
Yes,
that
yes,
side.
we have been started working on it. And I'm more confident now with the whole token economy moving. The question which I was asked that how do you monetize? I made this bold move of putting my 50 million US dollar H1 cluster to train data. I was under pressure from my board also on the monetization. I think on some of these things, first you have to have the belief that you are in the right direction and you need to be persistent.
Tell me a little bit more on that monetization story. How do you monetize?
This is the interesting one. I am also learning every day, every week. What is happening now is now there are a lot of global companies and local companies. They have started to come on that platform. And one of the thing is on tokens also, there are a lot of open source model and one of the closed source. They will be getting trained there for Indonesia data. And then we'll be selling token also. So this was not in my mind when I started. It all developed in the last 45 days. I'm just giving you one use case. But the other is, again, our focus is, I work with Gemini Pro. I have given to all my 100 million customer for 6 months. But look, after that also, my focus is we have to democratize intelligence. And for that, in countries like Indonesia, it has to be affordable. So we are working with some of our partners that our paid version, which is competitive with some of the best in the world, can we give it to Indonesia at the half of the cost? If the price is $5, can we bring it to $3? We have to keep in mind our larger purpose is to democratize intelligence, and we have to keep the villages, the desa in mind when we are doing some of these things. So that is how our approach is. Still, we have not cracked the code, but we feel more confident that next year when I come, I can give you 5 use case how we are monetizing.
Give us some idea on the scale of investments required to really drive this, and what are the good things about it, and what are some of your concerns around it?
So this is very capex heavy. You are right, the cost of compute. But the good thing is, it's making money now. It is not a bubble. Today, as we speak, we have 20 gigawatt live workload running, sold out. Now our plan is in next 3 years to 4 years, scale it up to 1 gigawatt. What does that mean? Only for GPU, it is a $50 billion investment. Only for GPU. Then data center, 1 gigawatt is another $12 to $15 million. I think the good thing is, earlier, all these things were only used by model builder. We are on the day zero of inferencing. So especially for large countries and scale countries like Indonesia, we are very uniquely placed. So on one side, we are scaling up from 20 to 150 gigawatt this year itself. And we will be serving a lot of regional and global customer, lot of hard work on sovereign workload in Indonesia. But think of it 3 to 5 years down the line, the whole equation will flip. Now 95% of the consumption is model builder. In 5 year time, 60% will be inferencing. And that is where we are converting all our 55,000 tower into AI grid.
Got it.
And it is a proven thing, Vivek, that there are a lot of applications which work on a grid much better than from a factory. The whole latency play. And that is where the inferencing workload will start. And we are on a day zero of that. So the demand today also is insane. And I don't see it slowing down.